Hi, and welcome to the 14th episode of the Running with Kelly podcast. My name is Coach Kelly, and I am a level 2 RRCA certified running coach, and I'm injured. You can see I'm alone today. I don't have my co-host Alex with me. I just wanted to do a quick little podcast about what this experience is like, and hopefully it will be therapeutic for me, and hopefully you might find it of value. So yes, I'm injured, and runners don't do injury very well, do we? It's not the first time I've been injured. I don't get injured a lot, but it's the first time I'm actually doing something about it. So let me just tell you a little bit about what's happening with me. We'll start there. So it's been a great year. I've had a great year running this year. I started with half marathon last year. I got second in my age group in winter, in the Winter Warrior. I did the Freezeroo series here in Rochester. I did a marathon in Canada. I did Seneca 7 team with a bunch of great people, a few ultras, well, 3 ultras, yes. Mind the Ducks, I did a 50K. And then I was gearing up for Candlelight. So this was a 24-hour race on a 1-mile loop in Rush, New York at a Rotary Sunshine Camp, which was the weekend before my 30th wedding anniversary. But my husband is the most awesome guy ever, and he's like, go for it. So I amped up my mileage pretty quickly. And as a coach, I know that there's a lot of risk that goes with that, but you know, I know what I'm doing. So I was very careful. So I started running 200-mile months. So I got a lot of training in. Come Candlelight, it was it was actually a blast. It was really hot, and it poured, and it was dark, and you know, we had all kinds of conditions. But that's a talk for another podcast. But anyway, I ended up winning female. I got 80 miles in that day, and started running pretty quickly after that race, because I decided to sign up for this Old Forge series of races, which was a 5K, a 10K, a half marathon, and a marathon, all within about less than 48 hours of time. So I trained and trained and trained, and my Achilles were tight. I've always had tight Achilles, but they were getting tighter. You know, I'm walking down the stairs one step at a time, holding on for dear life on the railing. Am I the only one? I can run, you know, ultras, but walking down the stairs is tough. But I kept going. Usually after a mile or so, they loosen up, and I'm able to run fine, no pain. So after Old Forge, it was a little bit of a different story. It hurt. And I'm looking at the bottom of my heel. I'm like, there's this bulge at the bottom, at the end of my heel. Wasn't sure what that was. It wasn't soft. It was like hard, like bone. But I kind of ignored it because I was running Can Lake's 50-mile race, and this was going to be my 10th time doing that race. And the 10th time you get your money back. So I needed to do it. I was excited. I wanted to do Can Lakes. But I was experiencing this pain, and so I wasn't sure what to do. Have you ever made an arrangement with God? You know, if you help me get through this, I will definitely do this. I don't know how smart that is, because you really have to hold up your end of the deal. Anyway, I made such an arrangement during some of my prayer time. I'm like, Lord, please, I really want to do Can Lakes, but something's wrong with my Achilles. Can you just help me get through the race? And as soon as the race is over, I will go get help. I'll get seen by a doctor. I'll do PT. I'll do whatever. So I also rested a little and thought I would play it by ear. Day before Can Lakes, I'm like, I think I got this. So get to the race. I ran 50 miles. There's lots of hills too, and no Achilles pain at all. So yay! And I didn't do too bad. So race is over. I took a few days off, and then I think I can run again. So I started running. Now I did not, which is on par for me because I don't usually register for races very early, but I hadn't registered for anything coming up because I had made that arrachement. And I can't make an arrangement with God and then right after start registering for races. So I noticed that the pain was just not good. I started running, and where it would usually ease up after a couple miles, it was not. So it really, really hurt. And at night even, I'd have shoots of pain going through my heel and up my calf. And this isn't right. I'm not happy about this. I took a few days off and then started trying again. Just not working. So my friend Alex, my friend and co-host Alex Kroll, had given me the name of a sports doctor, Dr. Blonsky, and said you should go see her. She likes getting people back into their sport. She's going to make sure that you get there and get there healthy. So I went to see her and had some x-rays done, and sure enough, there's some extra bone on the end of my heel. Go figure. And she assured me that wasn't the problem. It was this Achilles tendinopathy, and said physical therapy. So, all right. So I'm all in. I scheduled with the physical therapist, and I met with him yesterday. And Jeff said I'm not as bad as he would have thought as I was explaining stuff. So he checked me over and gave me some exercises to do, and I have to go see him twice a week. So that's where I'm at. So I thought I would do this podcast to share with you what it's like for the coach. Like, I hate not running. I have to coach tonight, Stronger, Fitter, Faster class on hills, and I'm going to have to walk down there and cheer everybody on, which I will do because I'm excited everyone else can run. But it's hard when you see other people doing things that you want to be doing and you can't do them. It's hard. And in fact, last night, poor Erica, my daughter, I had some tech issues while recording another podcast with a guest, and I was really angry with myself for not being able to handle the technology, not really being familiar with this microphone and these headsets and what I'm doing with this podcast. So I went downstairs and went, your mother's stupid. And I got upset. She's looking at me and she's like, Mom, it's really not that bad. And then I started sobbing, thinking, I can't run. So when I had PT, I must have asked Jeff, is his name, from Lattimore Physical Therapy, must have asked him 10 different ways. When can I start running again? He's like, well, we're just getting started. Finally, he's like, it's going to be at least 6 weeks. 6 weeks! I mean, that's just 6 weeks through the end of the year. So I was crying to Erica. I can't run for 6 weeks. Well, this is, what was me? I'm so sad. I'm a runner. I run. What do you mean I can't run for 6 weeks? So she's just like, get a grip, Mom. And then, I mean, I'm embarrassed. There's a lot going on in this world. A lot of sad, scary stuff happening in the world. And in my world, I am blessed with good health. My family is in good health. I have my mom that lives down the street, which is awesome and scary at the same time. I love my family. I love my extended family. I love my job. I love coaching. I have a great house. I have food. I have so many things to be thankful for. Am I really going to go nuts because I can't run for 6 weeks? I mean, I will run. I'm going to do my therapy. I'm going to get better, and I will be running. So why am I letting myself sit here in this space? But newsflash, Coach Kelly's human, and I have those times. So I had that time yesterday, and I don't know if you've listened to all these podcasts, but we did interview Sarah, who's a friend of mine and someone I coached. She had been injured for 8 months she couldn't run. And she rocked her rehab. I mean, she did everything she was supposed to do. She started swimming, started biking, and now she's a competitive triathlete. And when she was able to start running again, she started killing it on her run. So I know that you can become stronger through your rehab. And she actually referred to a book called Rebound, Train Your Mind to Bounce Back Stronger from Sports Injuries, and it's by Carrie Jackson Cheadle and Cindy Kuzma, and she let me borrow the book. It's right You can't really see it with my fake background, but she let me borrow it, and I read just the first chapter, and I'm already encouraged. There's going to be so many things that I can glean from this book. So I'm going to continue to read this book. I'm going to continue to do my PT and focus on strengthening my calves, my feet, my glutes, my core, my hips, and I got a Planet Fitness membership because of all this so that I could ride a stationary bike, which I hate. I don't know if anyone out there loves riding a stationary bike. If you do, please comment and let me know what your secret is. I listened to a podcast. It wasn't so bad. I ran into someone that I knew there who came over to talk to me while I was riding, and that made the time go by. But I would just much rather be on a treadmill. But stop. I'm not going to let myself get there. I'm going to stay positive. So let's see, where was I going with that? So I found Sarah's story to be incredibly inspiring. If you have not seen that podcast, I highly recommend that you go back and look at it. I think it's episode 7. I'm not positive. But you'll want to check that out. And I'm going to do a weekly podcast possibly through this rehab. So maybe there'll be 4 to 6 more of these just to check in with y'all. If you have any encouragement for me, please leave a comment. I would love to be encouraged. I would love to be encouraged. If you're injured too, let me know. Maybe we could form a club. But I think the biggest thing is we had Samantha Hansey on the podcast a couple of weeks ago, and we were talking about mental health, and it's very real because I mean, it's real in sports. I identify as a runner, and I'm not running right now, so that's hard for me. It's hard for mental health to keep a healthy mental state. But she gave some great visualization examples of how to help with healing yourself too. So I'm drawing upon what I learned from that podcast, from this book Rebound, and from any bits of advice that you have for Coach Kelly. I would love to hear them. So thanks for listening to my rambling. I know this is different than what our typical podcast is. We will be releasing another podcast, an interview with Nick Badinsky. I think you'll love it. He's great, and he's inspiring as well. But hopefully you find this helpful. So if you like it, share it. Tell me to grow up, put my big girl pants on, whatever. But for you all that are running, happy running. And for me, I'm wishing happy rehab. Thanks.